Hello students and welcome to the lecture. So students, as we know that we are covering the parliament, all right? And basically these are the topics that we have scheduled for the discussion under this particular series, like the introduction part, organization of parliament, composition of two houses, system of elections to the Lok Sabha, duration of two houses, membership of parliament, presiding officers of parliament, leaders in parliament, sessions of parliament, devices of parliamentary proceedings, legislative procedure in parliament, joint sitting of two houses, budget in parliament, multifunction role of parliament, ineffectiveness of parliamentary control, position of Rajya Sabha, parliamentary privileges, and the sovereignty of the parliament. Okay, so these are the topics that we have scheduled for the discussion. Out of this, basically we have done with the introduction part, organization of parliament, composition of two houses, system of elections to the Lok Sabha, duration of two houses, membership of parliament, presiding officers of parliament. And the topic we have started the discussion upon is the leaders in the parliament, and the remaining topics are now the sessions, parliamentary proceeding devices, legislative procedure, joint sitting, budget in parliament, multifunctional role, ineffectiveness, position of Rajya Sabha, parliamentary privileges, and the sovereignty of parliament. All right. So you can say that that is the picture that we have created so far all together. Okay. So in this lecture, we will continue from where we had left in the previous one. Okay. So when we talk about the leaders in parliament, so two leaders we had discussed. All right. Like first is the leader of house. Okay. So basically if we talk about the leader of house, so generally he is the prime minister, and if not, then he will be a member or the minister who is appointed by the prime minister to act as a leader of the house. All right. Thereafter, if we talk about another one, so that was the leader of opposition. Okay. So the leader of opposition is the, you can say, leader of the main opposition party, which is having at least 1/10 seats of total seats. At least 1/10 seats of total seats. So he will be called as a leader of opposition. All right, that is a thing. And we had discussed that the leader of leader of house and the leader of opposition. The leader of house basically called as an majority leader in United States of America. Whereas if we talk about the leader of opposition, he is known as the minority leader in the USA. Okay. And if we talk about the post of leader of opposition, so basically for the first time, this was created in 1969. All right. In 1977, post was constitutionalized. Okay. That is the things that we had covered. Even we had covered about the shadow cabinet, and we know that this cabinet is functional in the country of Britain. All right. So these are the things that we had covered in the previous lecture. I hope that you have revised them well before you have come for this lecture. As many times I have reminded you, that is for your own benefit. So if you are doing this in a regular basis, the thing will be very much beneficial for you. All right. So let's start with the topic. So now, if we talk about the second office of leadership, then this is an office of whip. Okay. So the offices of the leader of the house, okay, leader of the house and the leader of opposition are basically not mentioned in the constitution. Okay. So they both are the extra constitutional body. Okay. These are not the constitutional body, but an extra constitutional body. Okay. They are mentioned in the rules of the house and the parliamentary statute respectively. Okay. So this is the main power authority which establishes the offices of leader of the house and the leader of opposition. All right. And these are not mentioned in the constitution. But the office of whip, on the other hand, is mentioned neither in the constitution nor in the rules of house nor in a parliamentary statute. Okay. It means that the office of whip is neither the constitutional body nor the statutory body. It is basically a conventional body which is based on the conventions of parliamentary government. It means that basically you can say many times it's happened with you. Like if someone is having the thing and you are also doing the work the person is doing. So what will happen? You will also take that thing. Okay. It means that if that have, and so why should not I? All right. So this is the general thing. Similar thing happens here. Like we know, the India is a democracy with a parliamentary system. We have the parliament. All right. And if we talk about the parliamentary government, so usually they have the whip. So does we. All right. So that's the reason. So basically it is neither constitutional body nor statute. Why? Because it is neither mentioned in the rules of house nor in a parliamentary statute and Constitution of India either. All right. So basically it is a conventional body. Why? Because it is generally based on the parliamentary government. So every political party, whether they are ruling or they are in opposition, doesn't matter whether they are ruling or they are in opposition, has its own whip in the parliament. Okay. He is appointed by the political parties who serve as an assistant floor leader. Okay. So who appoints the whip? Respective political party. For example, suppose the XYZ, ABC, what they are? They both are the political parties. All right. So they would appoint the person as a whip. Suppose they appointed Mr. R and they appointed Mr. S. All right. So the political party in which the person is a member of, okay, the political party maybe appointed him as a whip. All right. And basically what is his primary role? Serve as an assistant floor leader. All right. This is his primary role. Got it? Now let's move forward. So basically he is charged with the responsibility of ensuring the attendance of his party members in large numbers and securing their support in favor of or against a particular issue. All right. It means that he is like a monitor of class. Okay. Like it is the responsibility of the monitor to monitor the class. Okay. Ensure their attendance, ensure their, you can say completion of homework and classwork and all. Okay. Similar thing. Similar thing is basically in the case of whip. All right. The whip is also charged with the responsibilities of ensuring the attendance of the political party members and ensuring their support in favor or against about some particular issue. Okay. He regulates and monitors their behavior in parliament. All right. And you can say that basically it is the person who collects their feedback reports on behavior of party members. Okay. Otherwise, disciplinary action can be taken. Okay. The members are supposed to follow the directions given by the whip, and if they fails to, then the disciplinary action could be taken against him. All right. So remember this thing. After this, here we have finished the leaders in parliament, and here we had seen the four things, like leader of house first, leader of opposition second, shadow cabinet third, whip fourth. All right. So if we talk about the leader of house, yes, they are in India. Leader of opposition, they are in India. Whip, they are in India. Only the shadow cabinet is not in India. All right. So keep this thing in your mind. After done with the leaders of parliament, now we are going to talk about the sessions of the parliament. All right. Like we know, whenever the parliamentary members meet, okay, and they start discussing over the facts and figures and about the national issues, international issues in the parliament. Okay. So these are basically known as the sessions. Okay. And the first thing here we could see here is the summoning. All right. This is the first thing. So the president from time to time summons each house of parliament to meet. Okay. So the first thing we had derived here is the president. So president is the authority to summon the persons. Okay. But the maximum gap between two sessions of parliament cannot be more than 6 months. Okay. It means that parliament do not meet regular. Okay. Basically they meet during sessions. All right. And between the sessions, the maximum time period allowed is just 6 months. Okay. So in other words, the parliament should meet at least twice a year. Why? Because we know in the year there is only 12 months. Okay. So the time period could not exceed more than 6 months. So that's why they meet at least twice a year. There are usually 3 sessions in a year. And these sessions are budget session from February to May, monsoon session from July to September, okay, and then the winter session November to December. So just write them down. If we talk about the sessions, then there are 3 sessions. First is budgetary session, then the timeline. Thereafter, monsoon session in the timeline. Thereafter, winter session in the timeline. Okay. So जब budgetary sessions are basically in between February to May, monsoon session from July to September, winter session from November to December. Okay, so these are the sessions and these are the timelines. And if we look at here, from May to July, how many months are there? 1 month. From September to November, how many months are there? Okay, 1 month. So here you can say the provision of not exceeding the 6 months time frame is maintained. All right, remember this. A session of parliament is the period spanning between the first meeting of a house and its prorogation or the dissolution in the case of the Lok Sabha. All right, during a session, the house meets every day to transact the business, okay, and discuss the facts and figures and the issues. The period spanning between the prorogation of a house, its reassembly in a new session is called recess. Okay, remember this thing. After this, the main other term is the adjournment. Okay, a session of parliament consists of many meetings. Okay, each meeting of a day consists of 2 sittings. That is a morning sitting from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and the post lunch sitting from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. All right, a sitting of parliament can be determined by the adjournment or adjournment sine die or prorogation or dissolution in the case of the Lok Sabha. All right, an adjournment suspends the work in a sitting for a specific time, which may be hours, days, or weeks. Okay, it means that suppose if the parliament is in a session, so in the normal courts, they are having the everyday meeting in 2 shifts. All right, in normal circumstances. But whenever adjournment in force, okay, whenever this provision in the force, so what will happen? That there will be a specified time which the speaker will define in the case of Lok Sabha, and chairman would decide in the case of Rajya Sabha. All right, and basically this specified time may be defined that in the hours, in the days, or in the weeks. Like during this time, the house meetings will be suspended, but in the specified time. Okay. The meetings could not be suspended for undefined time period. Thereafter, the second thing is the adjournment sine die. What does it mean? Adjournment sine die means terminating a sitting of parliament for an indefinite period. It means that if there is a normal adjournment, okay, normal adjournment. So what will happen? Time period specifically defined. All right. And when we talk about the adjournment sine die, so remember, time period not defined. Okay. So remember, this is the difference. Normal adjournment, time period specifically defined. Adjournment sine die, the time period not defined. Okay. So that's why it is known as the undefinite time period. In other words, when the house is adjourned without naming a day for reassembly, it is called the adjournment sine die. It means that the members were requested to go, but they were not informed when they would have to come. Okay. So the power of adjournment as well as power of adjournment sine die lies with the presiding officer of the house, and we had discussed that if it is a case of Lok Sabha, the speaker will do it. If it is a case of Rajya Sabha, the chairman will do it. He can also call a sitting of the house before the date or time to which it has been adjourned, or any time after the house has been adjourned sine die. Okay. So if we take the case, suppose if we talk about the time, so the house was adjourned till 1 p.m. Okay. It is not necessary. If the speaker wants to reassemble the house, so he could ask it on the 12:30 p.m. also. Similarly, if the session was going on between the February to May, it means budgetary session, then what happened? The moment they reach March, the house was urgent on 1st March and was requested to meet on 2nd March. Okay. But if the speaker or the chairman feels that it is okay to call the house now, so even they call it before, it means that maybe on 12th March itself, the house will call for reassembly. All right. This is happens in the case of adjutant when time period specifically defined. Okay. And if we talk about the adjutant sine die, so in this case already the time period is not specifically defined. Okay. So the house could be called anytime. All right. So just remember these things. Okay. So students, basically in this lecture, we have completed till here. In the next lecture, we will continue from here. Till then, just revise the facts and figures that all we have discussed in this lecture and be ready for the another lecture. With this note, let's end this lecture, and what we say thank you.